Hello, Internet adventurers. This is Chad Warren from the adventurerchannel.com/blog. Thanks for being here. Today, I want to focus on we are change. Why? Because I think this is one of the better examples of where independent journalism meets mainstream journalism. So, the goal in general that I'm looking for is for people to participate, right? My job is just to stimulate the conversation. And I want to encourage other people to see things the way I do, which is that we can do something with social media, but this is an interactive media. The energy that you put into this is just as important as whatever the hell is going on in the mainstream news. Like, for example, this story about the journalist that supposedly has been killed over in Saudi Arabia. I mean, we were told that he had an Apple Watch on. I haven't seen anything of it. We were told he was disemboweled. I haven't seen anything proving that. So it's like we were supposed to have a press that was supposed to represent the people and speaking to power, but now the media is all corrupt, so you have to have this other layer of social media with YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and whatnot. And then I have to have your participation, right? And Luke Rudkowski, or however you say it, of We Are Change, or any of these independent media, alternative media content producers on YouTube, for example, they need people to share their content, to like it, to pay money in the form of, it would be advertisers. So you can monetize these videos, and then people can offer subscriptions to their content and ask for donations. And like Luke Rudkowski, he has a full-time job doing what he wants to do, which is being an independent journalist. And while I listen to a lot of these podcasts, I think I am in this different niche, which is more like a promoter or activist in rallying, getting people to engage with this content, to take it from the internet into their personal lives and into their communities, and so we can start to process this. Because I do believe in the United States as a concept, which means that everybody has this different state of opinion, their viewpoint, and we need to unite that, all right? And we need to cooperate. None of us is going to get anything done by ourselves. You know what I mean? Where we are right now in reality, as far as I'm concerned, is everybody is lost in the internet. You either have people that are obsessed with this content like me on the YouTube and looking and saying, look, everything I've been told is a lie, everything that's on the media and the education system is a lie, but then that means we have to process it and figure out what is important. What proof is there that any of this, if I'm critiquing and saying there's no need to go vote, you don't have any power there, well, what power do we have to analyze the news like a decentralized intelligence agency versus the central intelligence agency, which appears to be bankers that fund news that suits their position, which is to keep the rest of us down so they can profit off of us as these consumer slaves. So it is understandable. I understand the point of view that are like, I don't want to pay any attention to that. None of that affects my life. I'm going to watch football. I'm going to watch Saturday Night Live. I got better things to do. Well, I kind of am in agreement with you in that I'm tired of listening to all this and nothing coming of all of it in terms of me being a person that has paid attention to 9/11, being an inside job, obviously, with Building 3, I think it is. It just fell on its own later in the day. And I think all of it is a cult mockery from the Freemasons just to say, hey, y'all are stupid and none of you care. And then if you do care, you're not going to do anything about it. So I'm in the camp that doesn't appreciate being mocked and wants to do something about it. And ultimately, more important than my point of view about all this is that I'm going to have to figure out how to not have the screen on my phone turn off every 5 seconds. So I'm just going to let y'all see this. I like the idea of using this screen share just to be in reality of like, this is where we really live. I'm not going to hide anything from you. Okay, so I need to go to display. I passed it. Display. And I don't want it to turn off. Sleep after 15 seconds? What kind of a person is doing this? No, let's say 10 minutes for now and get that off of there. Okay, so my point is I'm looking for some participation, and I'm looking for you to share with me information either on the national, international scale or in your local community that we need to focus on, because ultimately I imagine that we're going to see a lot heavier merger of that's like the establishment has brought us YouTube, right? And as much as I critique these people, these Masons, these corporations that run the world, it's understandable because people don't give a crap about anything, and so they have to be led around. Right? I mean, I'm consuming content that other people, like Luke Rukowski or Dante of No Race is another channel I check out. I mean, they take the time to make these videos, so I let them do that, but then that means I have to consume it, analyze it, get some reaction out of people. The two choices are we can be voluntarily involved in our personal lives and in the greater humanity, or these I'm beginning to agree inside that these banking gangsters have a right to push us around because we're not going to do anything unless we're threatened with our life. Kind of like how I was in school, where I wasn't going to do my homework to the very last minute. That's just an understandable kind of way that people react, you know? And we're not disciplined. We need to be connected in order to be functioning at that higher level that we want to, where we're all having a good time and doing serious things. And as we mature and evolve as humanity, that means we're going to have to knowingly make this happen, be aware of what's going on, and make these choices to create our future as opposed to consuming it. You know what I mean? We're going to have to be involved, or the Masons and the news is going to stage these wars and the same old scam, and now they've got the environmental thing as a new scam, and it's all scam, scam, scam. We're going to have to do all this work to apply pressure to them like the press used to do, but as individuals. God, that's a lot of yammering on. So I need your feedback. I want your feedback. I want to know what you think about this, how it could be better, what should I focus on, what are some of your favorite alternative media examples, and how can we cooperate? How can we get the people that make the computer apps and be able to, what I want to see is science. I want to see us be able to harness this demographic data instead of these marketers and psychologists and central intelligence agents using us, as we know has happened with the Facebook, forget the Stanford or whatever they call that scandal about the general public now knows, hey, you're being experimented on. They're manipulating you to see if they can alter your behavior. And then you've got like the Democrats are like, well, Russia, they paid for money for ads, and that's how Donald Trump won. And it's like, well, I mean, that's half true. Yeah, this is Soviet destabilization, demoralization. That's what the majority of what they do is not spying on us, but messing with us. And it's not Russia. It's these secret societies that are all around the world, Um, anyway, long story short, so on the focus of this video, and I won't yammer on so much in the future, but I'm trying to get out the concept of what I'm doing here at the Adventurer channel. And it's about taking action. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear analysis of stuff forever. I want to see what's the proof. Show me how we can organize like unions used to organize. How can we make things happen? You know what I mean? We don't need representative government. I mean, they have their place, but golly, we've got technology, we've got ways to do stuff. Like, it's just life is boring to me of like, what are we doing? What is the purpose of anybody if we're not doing anything? So, I just want to show you a little snippet of why I think We Are Change is the best example of this independent journalist that is, knowledgeable enough to have the journalist skills to research these topics beyond what is available in either print or on cable news. And do you know of any other examples like that? Do you recommend a podcaster, a YouTuber type of person that you think does a really good job that you could share with your parents, your friends, that we could watch this instead of MSNBC and Fox News? And we don't want to see that there. I got to figure out a way to take notifications off. But this is real life. That's one of my strong points, is being somebody you can trust, as being genuine. So we'll listen to an example of this. The specific topic is this Saudi journalist, and now a day that it's been going on for a number of days, and now Luke is like, we need to question this story. I mean, anything that the mainstream news is running is automatically a scam that suits this corporate governments of the world. So, where is this going?
I specifically wanted to talk about a lot of the stories that you're not being told, a lot of the inconsistencies, and the bigger picture behind, of course, the missing journalist in the Saudi consulate in Turkey. Now, even though it may seem like a major conspiracy is unraveling, there are still details to the story that I do believe need to be questioned, because yes, this is a large international scandal with larger geopolitical implications between world powers, but also with the purchasing power of the dollar. Now, before we get into that, plus a lot more, you should know that this broadcast is sponsored by you and your support, which keeps us fully independent and accountable to you, the viewer. And you can go to wearechange.org/donate and support us there through many different ways. Now, the case of...
Hey, speaking of, I'm living out of my truck. If you think anything I'm doing is worthwhile, throw me a buck. I'll put a donation link.
This missing journalist has obviously spurred a huge international scandal, with Turkey and other media reports saying that Saudi Arabia assassinated them in the consulate in Turkey, while Saudi Arabia is coming out and saying, no, we didn't, and it's just a damn conspiracy theory that this is...
I apologize for the audio and the video being off. I am using this AZ screen recorder. It's a pain in the butt. It seems to snip it off little sections when I play it back. If you have a better Android screen recorder app or a way to fix this one, please let me know.
Happening. Now, obviously, there's very strong circumstantial evidence that, yes, Saudi Arabia did assassinate this journalist, with even the New York Times today releasing photos of an aide to the Saudi Crown Prince being documented many times with the Saudi Crown Prince, and moments before and after the journalist went missing in Turkey, along, of course, with other 15 Saudi officials who flew into Turkey during a specific time that the journalist was rescheduled and told to be at the Saudi consulate. Now, along with this and all the other evidence that the Turkish officials have released, they do make a very compelling case here. But there are some important things to note here, because the current regime of Turkey under Erdogan has been waging a war against journalists, imprisoning hundreds of them, even sentencing some to the death penalty on trumped-up charges of conspiracy against the government. Currently, there are 250 journalists in prison in Turkey, with the country even going as far as to kidnap former expats, not only imprisoning them, but sometimes even torturing them for questions.
Hey, we're all taking freedom of speech too lightly here in America. That is our power. And what I don't like is Alex Jones, who is controlled opposition schmuck that tries to ruin it for everybody by acting like a jackass. Do I act like an idiot that's crazy? No. So He doesn't deserve all that money. He doesn't deserve all that audience. All you people that watch his show, shame on you. You're being foolish for falling for a controlled opposition. Many of you could do a better job. Um, but just because he is, Trump's little fanboy, doesn't mean that we need to throw away freedom of speech, because now you're seeing that people on the left, I'm seeing videos where they're like, yeah, we should take Donald Trump's star off of the Hollywood Walk of Fame because if you don't like something, that's what you do. You censor it. So, like, these younger, dumber people, like, have no idea what fascism actually is. So they think that if we just all agree that you're white and you're racist, well, we get to punch you in the face and you don't get to speak. I mean, people are that dumb. This is occurring, and of course, on the right, they're acting just as retarded.
Their authority. So this bigger push by Turkey that we're seeing is definitely not done for human rights reasons, but of course bigger geopolitical reasons. And even if you look at the journalist who has been disappeared, Khashoggi, he has even previously supported the execution of people because of their speech, like he supported the beheading of a Shiite clerk in 2011 by the Saudi Empire because he dared to speak out against the Saudi crown prince.
Whoa. That's important information. This is not some American journalist. I think it's like, isn't he an ambassador from Saudi Arabia to the United States? I don't know. Or a U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia, I guess. But he calls for the death of people like they do in Saudi Arabia. America is so connected to Saudi Arabia, it's may as well that's what we're talking about here. It may as well be the United States is cutting the heads off of gay people. That's what they do in Saudi Arabia, evidently. Then you got a Wolf Blitzer. The whole CNN is the CIA news network. Anderson Cooper was evidently an agent. He's the son of a Vanderbilt. It's just rich people, and they own the government. And that's normal for them. If we had money, we'd be making these kind of options too. I don't like what you said. I'm going to send somebody over there to intimidate you and kill you. And so the United States, any of these liberals, you're a joke. You talk about gay rights and women's rights, while the country that you're going to for your vote and your democracy. And the same with the Trump people. It's dirty business. You have no leg to stand on. We are a people that live off of gangsterism. We're the bad guys around the world. Fact. So to talk about Saudi Arabia like, oh, these crude people with their swords and their AK-47s and their hate. Americans, I mean, at least I understand what's going on. These other people won't admit to it. Shameful. We're all in trouble. I'm having to pressure. That's the difference. I'm having to pressure you, my peers, and I'm asking for you to pressure me as iron sharpens iron. As a Christian, we need to, help each other, but demand each other perform better, make more sense, do more. That's the difference between the press that's just going to pretend like they're your friends and talk to you, and people are going to, oh, I heard about this, so we're going to talk about this.
And while we're hearing a lot of news about this specific story, we are completely missing a bigger story that was just broken about how American mercenaries are actually actively working in Yemen right now to kill the political enemies of the UAE and Saudi Arabia, and are murdering their political enemies, going after diplomatic officials, politicians, in a targeted assassination program, which Americans and former Navy SEALs are doing in a clear violation of international law, which I would even argue is a bigger violation than the one that's being promoted right now by Saudi Arabia. There's even U.S.
See what I'm saying? It's like the only reason these people go into the military and fight overseas is so after you do that, then you can get hired to be this professional mercenary murderer, and then they're working for whoever's paying the money. You can't talk about North Korea or China or Russia or Saudi Arabia and act like the United States is not connected. What is wrong with you people? Prove me wrong, or admit that you're wrong. But I hate when people just are little liars, and I'm going to start applying pressure to you. I'm going to show what you say on Facebook, and you're not going to feel comfortable because I don't want to do that, but you people want to continue to support Trump and play this left versus right thing and act like you're innocent. I'm not innocent. You're not innocent. What else am I going to do? That's what it is. It's like the way life works is this energy has to be dealt with. We can either uh, peacefully yet, passionately deal with our behavior, or somebody else is going to deal with it. There's going to be a civil war, right? This economy will be crashed by these bankers if it suits them, or we're going to address our behavior. We do need to make changes before we have to make changes. That's your only options. Do it by choice, or we're going to force you, right? Whether it's like, hey, maybe we should, there you go. Why is it that environmental conservatism is considered a liberal issue? Do you want to go to war? No, I don't want an economy based on war and killing people, right? We live nice here in America, and anybody can come here to America from all around the world to a certain degree, but we're going to be killing some people in some wars. No, I don't want that. So how about we drive less? How about we, without having to vote, just ride share? Stop driving. I mean, not like, to limit your freedom, but to increase your freedom. We're not going to be bullied by whatever the value of petroleum is. Let's find new options. Let us do something ourselves. We don't need people that wait for these stupid senators. We don't need a Senate. We don't need any of that. There's no way. This is not, the 1800s where people are illiterate. We don't need that. We need to get rid of that whole government system and go into a real economy. This is what my money and my time and my education and my life, this is what we're going to do. You want to play gangster? We're going to play gangster.
Troops right now on the ground allegedly fighting against Al-Qaeda militants. And this, of course, is not true because the United States is working with Saudi Arabia, which, of course, is a major financer of Wahhabists and other radical.
See what I mean? I mean, it's just irritating me thinking about it. Nobody cares if it's see, this is what I'm saying. Don't tell me because I'm white I'm racist. I don't like the fact that if there's like black people and they're shooting each other over drugs, or white trash people shooting each other over drugs in my state. Just because I'm not abusing opioids, I don't want anybody doing that. It ain't good for nobody. And I don't want it to be like, there's just a bunch of sand niggers over there in the Middle East. Who cares? I care because it's people. And if we don't care about them, then my God, somebody ain't caring about us. Duh. That's just logical. It's not about a bleeding heart liberal. That's just smart. I don't even want to play anymore. I think you get the idea is that this, and I'm sorry I don't remember, there's another guy's name that is a part of We Are Change, and I'm sorry. But Luke's who I see on here most of the time. All you got to do is do a video. Look, here's all those different mainstream news articles, what they're talking about, and then you got to have this layer over it to connect with your people. That gives it more power. Please respond to this if you appreciate this, and tell me. You can direct me. What do you want me to do? I don't want to just be telling you what to do. It's just I'm by myself. That's how it's got to start out. Thank you very much.